In all of these situations, it's only the artist that's losing. Somebody makes big money. When these rappers get killed, not incidental.
And 8052, shooting just occurred. Approximately 10 shots heard and an unknown person shouting code 3 incident 1920 RV809 semi-traditional.
People are alleging is Rihanna is a key material witness into this whole trafficking scheme or plot or whatever that Roc Nation and Jay-Z himself have been carrying out.
Guys, things are getting very scary because people have now put together that both Rihanna and Nicki Minaj's homes in California have both been targeted recently.
There's a growing belief among some people that when something bad happens in the entertainment industry, especially involving famous artists, it's not always just bad luck. The idea is that the artist is often the one who loses everything, while someone else quietly benefits behind the scenes. This kind of thinking has been talked about for years, especially by comedian Katt Williams, who has repeatedly claimed that nothing in the industry happens by accident. According to him, when a celebrity dies or gets caught in a dangerous situation, there is often money or power involved somewhere in the background. Recently, a frightening situation involving Rihanna has made these conversations even louder. People are starting to question whether everything is really as simple as it looks on the surface. In early March 2026, a woman named Ivana Ortiz showed up outside Rihanna's home in Beverly Hills. She was armed with a rifle and fired several shots toward the property while Rihanna and her children were inside. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but the situation was extremely serious and could have ended very differently. At first, the explanation given to the public seemed straightforward. Authorities and media reports described Ortiz as a mentally unstable fan who had developed an unhealthy obsession. This kind of behavior, sometimes called a parasocial relationship, happens when someone feels deeply connected to a celebrity they have never actually met. When videos from Ortiz's social media appeared online, many people quickly accepted this explanation. In those clips, she appeared distressed, speaking angrily about Rihanna and making strange accusations. She called Rihanna evil and claimed that the singer was somehow targeting her.
I'm saying that everything that happens in a business that's based off of pretend that seems like a setup is. In business, nothing is coincidental or you will be hearing who's losing money. In all of these situations, it's only the artist that's losing. Somebody makes big money. When these rappers get killed, not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, don't have to validate none of their contracts. Now only got to deal with the mama, only got to see her once a year and it's over. And the money goes up and up and up. So they killed this $20 million guy, but they reaped $60 million in benefits.
Wow.
And they had some people from your city do it.
Because of this, many people felt the case was already solved. To them, it looked like a clear example of a disturbed individual acting alone. But not everyone was convinced. As more details began to come out, some people started to feel that there might be more to the story. One reason for the growing suspicion is that this incident did not happen in isolation. Around the same time, there were also reports that the home of Nicki Minaj had been targeted in a separate situation. The timing of these events made some people uneasy, especially since both women are major figures in the music industry. As discussions spread online, some users began revisiting older interviews and statements from Katt Williams. In those interviews, he suggested that powerful figures in the entertainment world sometimes benefit when artists are silenced or removed from the spotlight. He argued that large sums of money can be involved, especially when contracts, ownership rights, or future earnings are at stake. This led people to ask a difficult question: if something had happened to Rihanna, who would gain from it? One theory that started circulating involves the company Live Nation. This is a major corporation in the live entertainment business, handling concerts, tours, and ticket sales. It also has a close connection to Roc Nation, the company founded by Jay-Z. Roc Nation manages Rihanna's career and plays a key role in her business deals. The connection here is what raised eyebrows. Ivana Ortiz, The woman involved in the shooting reportedly has an ongoing legal dispute with Live Nation. At the same time, Roc Nation operates under Live Nation's larger structure, and Rihanna is one of its biggest artists. On top of that, Roc Nation CEO, Desiree Perez, has been involved in important legal matters connected to Live Nation.
We don't sing songs here, we sing artists. And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, and we're interested. And there was this sudden feel of relief.
But then he said something about a window and a door or something.
Oh, then he said, he did it homework.
I did a lot of homework on you, Miss Lady.
He said, there are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
So when Rihanna was 16 years old, she flew across country, had a meeting with Jay-Z, where he told her there's only two ways out of here, and that's through that door with the deal signed, or through the window, and we're on the 29th floor. And she was 16 years old. I don't really see the humor in that.
Dad, I know I promised you I'm gonna give you my first Grammy, but we might have to fight for this one.
She said she want to thank everybody for her first Grammy.
Anyway, I'd like to thank Jay-Z for being a part of this record with me.
She'd like to thank Jigga Man for being the greatest in the world.
Definitely a strong sense of ego here, which could be in fact rooted by other things, which is probably why Jaguar Wright said, when are we gonna come to the fact that Rihanna was the T word? Traffic.
For some people, this web of connections felt too complex to ignore. They began to question how someone already in a legal conflict with a major corporation could end up targeting one of that company's most valuable artists. Another detail that stood out was the resources Ortiz seemed to have. Reports suggested she arrived in a Tesla and was carrying an expensive weapon. For someone described as unstable and acting alone, this raised questions. People wondered how she was able to afford such things and travel such a distance. It didn't fit the simple image of a random, impulsive act. There was also confusion about her bail amount. Early reports claimed it was set extremely high, over $10 million. Later, official records showed a much lower figure, closer to $2 million. This sudden change caused even more speculation. Some people questioned whether it was just a reporting mistake, while others wondered if something unusual had happened behind the scenes. As these details spread across social media, many users began forming their own theories. Some suggested that Ortiz might have been used as a tool by someone else. The idea is that if a person already has a history of unstable behavior, it would be easier for others to point to that and say, she acted alone, without digging deeper. This way of thinking connects back to what Katt Williams has said in the past. He believes that the public is often shown a simple story so they don't look any further. If everyone accepts the explanation of a lone individual, then the possibility of a larger plan is never seriously examined. Another topic that started getting attention again is the controversy around Jeffrey Epstein and the release of documents connected to his case. In early 2026, a large number of files were made public, and many names from powerful circles were discussed online. At one point, Jay-Z's name began trending due to an old anonymous tip mentioned in those records. There is no confirmed wrongdoing tied to him in this situation, but the timing added fuel to online speculation. When people started connecting all these different elements, Rihanna's business ties, the legal issues involving Live Nation, the actions of Ivana Ortiz, and the resurfacing of Epstein-related discussions, it created a complicated and confusing picture. For some, it felt like too many strange details were appearing at once. There are also long-standing stories about how Rihanna entered the music industry. When she was a teenager, she moved from Barbados to the United States and signed a deal that changed her life. Over the years, some people have questioned how young artists are treated when they first enter the business, especially when they are dealing with powerful executives and major contracts. All of this has led to a wide range of opinions. Some people believe the official explanation is correct and that this was simply a tragic situation involving a troubled individual. Others feel that there are too many unanswered questions to ignore. At the center of everything is one simple fact: no one was hurt, and the situation did not turn into a tragedy. But the fear it created and the questions it raised are still very real. Right now, there is no clear evidence showing that anyone else was involved beyond the person who carried out the attack. Still, the discussions continue because people are trying to make sense of what happened. In the end, it comes down to what you believe. Was this just a random act by someone struggling with their mental health? Or is there something more complicated happening behind the scenes that the public doesn't fully understand? There are no easy answers yet. But one thing is certain: when events like this happen, they don't just disappear. People keep asking questions, looking for patterns, and trying to figure out the truth, even when it's hard to find.